Breaking news, Meghan's heartfelt video sends shockwaves of inspiration. Thanks Fortune MPW and DC. Washington, D.C. cheered as Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, shared a radiant video message that instantly became the heartbeat of the internet. Her words were simple, sincere, and full of the grace that defines her. Thanks, Fortune MPW and DC. Love being surrounded by strong women supporting each other. Thanks to Fortune MPW, my team, DC, and my sweet friends for the 24 hours of impact and fun. In just a few lines, Meghan reminded the world why her voice continues to inspire millions. Because she speaks not from ego, but from empathy, not for attention, but for purpose. The city that often measures power in titles and influence was reminded that true power, the kind that lasts, is built on kindness, gratitude, and connection. When Meghan appeared at the Fortune Most Powerful Women Summit, she wasn't just another name on the program. She was the pulse of the moment. Every head turned, every heart stilled for a second, and every eye followed her calm, confident walk through the doors of a space that suddenly felt brighter. She radiated purpose. The applause that followed was not rehearsed but instinctive, a response to her light. Those who were there say the energy shifted the instant she smiled. It wasn't just the Duchess of Sussex entering the room. It was the embodiment of modern womanhood, poised, passionate, and unapologetically authentic. The 24 hours Meghan spent in Washington were described as electric. Conversations flowed with depth, laughter, and solidarity. She engaged with founders, innovators, and dreamers, listening as much as she spoke. Attendees were moved by her humility and the way she uplifted others, even while being the most recognized person in the room. She wasn't there to dominate the stage, but to elevate the message that women, when united, can transform the world. Those who crossed paths with her said it felt like meeting an old friend, someone who made you feel seen, valued, and motivated to do more. Meghan's presence turned a high-profile business summit into a gathering of hearts and minds, a celebration of sisterhood and strength. When her thank you video surfaced later, it became clear that Meghan's 24 hours of impact had blossomed into a ripple effect across the globe. Her gratitude wasn't a formal post-event courtesy. It was a heartfelt embrace of everyone who had shared that space with her. She thanked her team, a testament to her humility, acknowledging that nothing great is achieved alone. She thanked her friends, the quiet supporters behind the scenes, and she thanked Washington, D.C. itself, a city that welcomed her with open arms and left with a piece of her spirit. Her words echoed the values she lives by: community, compassion, and collaboration. As her message spread across social media, fans couldn't contain their admiration. "This is what leadership looks like," one user wrote. "Gratitude, grace, and groundedness. That's Meghan." Others called her the queen of heart-centered leadership and the voice the world needs. Within hours, hashtags celebrating her video trended across continents. Major women's organizations reposted her clip, praising her for turning a thank you into a movement. The simplicity of her message struck a chord in a world that often forgets the power of appreciation. Meghan once again proved that the most powerful gestures are often the gentlest. For Meghan, gratitude isn't performative, it's personal. Her life, her causes, and her conversations all circle back to one belief: lifting others lifts us all. Her video reflected that truth beautifully. You could see it in her relaxed smile, her effortless poise, and her tone that carried warmth rather than formality. It wasn't about optics or headlines. It was about connection. Every thank you she offered carried meaning. Every mention of impact and fun revealed her deep understanding that change and joy can coexist, that doing good doesn't have to feel heavy, and that success means little without kindness. Those who were in DC during the summit still speak of her as if she left behind an invisible trail of inspiration. A young founder shared that meeting Meghan gave her the courage to pitch her idea with pride. A policy expert said Meghan's words about collaboration reminded her why she entered public service in the first place. Even hotel staff recalled how polite, warm, and gracious she was in every interaction. Meghan may have been in Washington for a day, but her energy lingered long after she left. It was, as she called it, 24 hours of impact. But the truth is, it was a lifetime's worth of inspiration compressed into one extraordinary day. Her video reminded the world of something bigger than fame or fortune, the power of presence. Meghan's thank you was not just a reflection of her experience, but a mirror for all who watched it. She reminded women everywhere that success isn't about standing alone at the top, but about bringing others up with you. Her love for strong women supporting one another shone through, reaffirming her belief that empowerment is most meaningful when it's shared. She didn't need a crown to prove her influence. Her words were enough. In the days following her message, countless fans and commentators referred to the Meghan effect, returning in full force. It wasn't about fashion this time or royal appearances. It was about emotional resonance. She had transformed a simple moment of gratitude into a global reminder that kindness is the highest form of strength. From Africa to Asia, from London to Los Angeles, women began sharing their own stories of sisterhood using Meghan's words as their inspiration. Some posted about supporting a colleague, others about starting mentorship programs, or simply expressing thanks to the people who make their lives brighter. Meghan's message of appreciation turned into a living movement of love and acknowledgement. What makes Meghan extraordinary is not her title, her fame, or even her achievements. It's her heart. In every word she speaks, there's intention. In every appearance, there's purpose. The Duchess of Sussex has never sought to be admired for the noise around her, but for the meaning behind her actions. Her gratitude toward Fortune MPW and Washington, DC captured that essence perfectly. She is a woman who remembers, who values, who gives. And that's why the world keeps watching, not because she demands attention, but because she deserves it. Her video also reflected the joy she carries in her work. You could sense how much she enjoyed the 24 hours, not just as a speaker or guest, but as a participant in something larger than herself. Impact and fun, she said, and that combination sums up Meghan's spirit. She believes that doing meaningful work can be joyful, that supporting others can bring happiness, and that success is sweeter when shared. That balance between purpose and play is rare, and it's what keeps her so beloved. She reminds everyone that change can come with laughter, that leadership can come with lightness, and that compassion can coexist with strength. Her thank you also underscored how deeply she values her team and her friends. Meghan has always been vocal about the people who stand with her, never taking credit alone. She knows the power of unity, whether it's her professional circle or her personal one. That's what gives her message credibility. It comes from lived experience. When she says she loves being surrounded by strong women, she isn't quoting a slogan, she's describing her life. From global advocates to mothers, creators, and entrepreneurs, Meghan builds bridges with women who share her values. Her friendships are a reflection of who she is, loyal, supportive, and deeply grounded. Her video post wasn't just content, it was character. Every word, every smile, every acknowledgement revealed a woman in full alignment with her values. She didn't need fancy production, scripted lines, or staged perfection. Her authenticity did the talking. That's why the clip went viral. It wasn't about grandeur, it was about grace. Meghan has a rare gift of making every interaction, no matter how short, feel sincere. She knows that sometimes a few words can carry more power than a speech. Thanks Fortune MPW and DC wasn't just a sign-off, it was a symbol of humility wrapped in elegance. In many ways, her 24-hour visit to Washington was symbolic. Here was a woman who once lived in royal palaces, now standing in a room full of women who built their empires through hard work, resilience, and heart. Meghan belonged effortlessly among them because her journey embodies the same themes: reinvention, integrity, and courage. She has navigated scrutiny with dignity, criticism with silence, and fame with purpose. And yet she remains open-hearted, joyful, and grateful. That's the secret behind her enduring influence. She never forgets where she's come from, or who helped her get there. The Fortune MPW Summit will be remembered not just for its panels or discussions, but for that brief moment when Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, reminded everyone what modern power truly looks like. It's not in dominance, but in empathy, not in boasting, but in gratitude. Her thank you video wasn't an afterthought. It was the closing note of a symphony she composed with grace. The reactions it sparked proved that the world is still hungry for authenticity, still moved by sincerity, and still inspired by those who lead with love. As the days passed, the glow of her message didn't fade. People continued sharing, quoting, and celebrating her words. Even major outlets picked it up, calling it the most elegant display of gratitude of the year. Commentators described it as Meghan at her most authentic, and fans said it felt like a warm hug through the screen. That's what she does best. She connects hearts across oceans. She takes a simple phrase and turns it into something unforgettable. Her voice carries a rare blend of wisdom and warmth, of confidence and care. When she speaks, the world not only listens, it feels. And as for Washington, DC, it too seemed to have fallen a little more in love with her. Locals who spotted her spoke of her kindness, her effortless smile, her calm demeanor. She was glowing, one said. You could tell she meant every thank you. Those brief encounters told a story of their own, a story of a woman who leads not by instruction but by example. Meghan doesn't just talk about supporting women, she lives it, breathes it, embodies it. And that's what made her video more than a message. It made it a mirror for all of us to reflect on how we can show more appreciation, more connection, and more heart in our own lives. So when Meghan said, "Thanks Fortune MPW and DC," it wasn't just a polite gesture, it was a moment of unity. It was her way of saying, we did this together. It was a nod to every woman who wakes up each day determined to make an impact, no matter how small. It was a tribute to collaboration over competition, to empathy over ego, to gratitude over grandstanding. In that one short video, she redefined the art of saying thank you. She turned it into poetry, into purpose, into power. Her legacy continues to grow, one moment of kindness at a time. From her humanitarian work to her creative ventures, from her motherhood to her public advocacy, she continues to light up the spaces she enters. And that's why the world can't look away, because her story isn't about royalty or celebrity. It's about resilience, renewal, and radiant humanity. She doesn't need to shout to be heard. Her presence whispers volumes. She doesn't need to demand respect. She earns it with grace. And she doesn't need to remind anyone of her power. She shows it every time she chooses love over bitterness, gratitude over grievance. As the sun set over Washington and her video continued to circulate, the feeling it left behind was unmistakable. Hope. Hope that gratitude still matters. Hope that leadership can be gentle. Hope that joy and impact can walk hand in hand. Meghan's message wasn't just a thank you. It was a timeless reminder that every act of acknowledgement, no matter how small, has the power to ripple across the world. The Duchess of Sussex didn't just attend an event. She redefined what it means to lead with heart. And as her words continue to echo across continents, one truth remains clear. Wherever Meghan goes, the world listens, learns, and loves a little more deeply.
The submission itself sounds nice. And to my amazing and peculiar Sussex family, thank you all for watching our videos and tuning in to Daily Diaries Fridays update. Keep it light, keep it there, and see you next time in our next episode. Bye bye. May you have a good day and a good time. Keep shining. Bye bye.